Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 113 of the Need to Nerd Podcast. I'm your host, Spencer the He's Howland. And episode 113 is a pretty cool number. I'm joined by my co-host, Paddy the friggin' Paddy. Paddy B. MTG. He is Ken enough. And,
I am Kenneth.
And I did watch that movie.
Yeah. Yep. I figured we might end up talking about this, so at some point.
We actually probably will. I'm actually going to do a comparison of, the two most recent movies I watched and, why I feel certain ways, so. But we're not talking about Barbie today. No, today we're talking about Blue Beetle, the 2023, right? 2023 release. Blue Beetle came out in theaters. A amazing, fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 91% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. People really loved this movie, and I'm excited to get to talk about it. But before we do, let's talk about our nerd fact of the week. And Patty B, Blue Beetle, the comic, was originally released in 1939, and the top price for the number one comic, the issue one, with a grade of only 6.5 for what it's worth. What do you think? What do you think it is? I mean, you can see it, but I'm curious if you would have gotten this close.
I don't know. First edition comics are all over the place. I mean, probably like 10 to 15 grand.
$9,600, which I thought was high for a 6.5.
Sure, for a 6.5, that seems a bit high. But yeah.
But it goes to show that this character has been around for a long time and is beloved. Before we get into the main topic, which is our review of Blue Beetle 2023, don't forget to check out the Discord. We got people in there talking about HBO Max show that I had not heard of, a new sci-fi that we might have to check out. They were talking about it last night and a little bit this morning. It's got one season running on it. I'm just going to pull it up from the Discord so that people can hear what people are talking about in there. But we got a recommendation in our TV channel for a show called Scavenger's Reign on Max. Sci-fi show. So might have to check that one out so that we can do a little more discussion there. If you want to support the show, though, one of the best ways to do that is share it. Nobody messed up the timeline. Patty B luckily commented on the last week's episode on YouTube, so the world didn't explode. But like, subscribe, and share is the best way to do so. If you do all three of those things this week, then you will find $1 on the ground. So. I'm not saying win,
right.
In your lifetime, you will find $1 on the ground.
Nice.
If it doesn't happen before you die, hit me up. So I'll ship you that $1. And then don't forget, you can join the contest to win a Switch and a copy of, whatever system comes out. Because, I thought that people would be, doing this faster. But we got the Switch 2. We got the Switch 2 coming out probably this Christmas, or I guess it could be next year around this time. But yeah, whatever the newest Nintendo system is that runs Super Smash Bros., whichever the newest version is, this is a co-contest with our sister podcast, the wonderful Smash 3 with Matt Kling. Somebody who subscribes to the YouTube channel, within the first 1,000 subscriptions will get that device. Let's go to our main topic, though, which is Blue Beetle. Patty B, what is?
So Blue Beetle is a movie about a superhero where our protagonist, Jaime Reyes, played by the fantastic Xolo, that we've seen from Cobra Kai, this alien scarab chooses him to be its symbiotic host. The scarab is sent by a group of people or aliens to be like a world destroyer. So there's that dynamic. But Jaime is a recent college graduate with a suit of armor that's capable of extraordinary powers, forever changing his destiny as he becomes the superhero known as Blue Beetle.
Oh, awesome. Sorry, I muted myself. This is a take on the third version of the Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle has had, two previous heroes. Dan Garrett being the first one, which was an archaeologist. Ted Cord being the successor that in the movie you'll kind of hear more about, and then Jaime Reyes being the one that we kind of focus on this one. So, the most recent one. And Patty B, I'm gonna let you go first. So, every week, every time we do a review, we kind of like to talk about our very first impressions of this, and what we thought. Have you seen this twice already?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I watched it for the first time,
like 2 or 3 times.
Literally Sunday night. So it's really fresh in my mind. But yeah, talk to me about your first impressions. Sitting down in the theater to watch this.
Yeah. So Shelby and I did go see it in theater. We wanted to make sure that we supported this movie because we love Solo, and all the trailers for it were awesome. The graphics, how it was presented as this character trying to find himself with this and work with this crazy stuff happening all around him. That was great. I did there was one day where you get your theater cup of soda. I was passing by and I hadn't done my refill yet. So I went in because we have that unlimited pass. I essentially gave this another ticket and went and got my drink. But yeah, it has a really great cast. That was some of my first impressions. You see, George Lopez, Susan Sarandon, Cholo, and all these other great actors. Yeah, so we had high hopes from the start.
Yeah, so I watched this for the first time on Sunday. I was supposed to go with Patty in theaters, and just it never worked out. But we talked about how I had just recently watched the Barbie movie, and I went into the Barbie movie with a lot of expectations, because of the fanfare that I got, because of the conversations around the Oscars, and I was expecting this truly motivating, deep film. I was like, oh man, Barbie really went out of its way, I guess. And it was not that. That's not what the Barbie movie is. And for this movie, I had zero expectations going in, which is something I always recommend, right? I think that, the things that I knew about the Blue Beetle is that I think he was a Teen Titan was all I knew. And that was it. That was that was all I knew. And, what was nice is it captivated. I watched this with, I turned this on when my kids were home, and they even sat down and watched a lot of it too. So it was captivating even for my kids. It wasn't too scary for them. And it was, what's funny is I text Patty B, and it's all right, I watched the movie. And, Patty B's like, oh, what'd you think? I was like, I have opinions. And I think I scared Patty. I think he was like, oh no, Spencer didn't like it.
Well, yeah, because we had the conversation about Barbie, and then this one, nothing I recommended. He's not liking my recommendations.
No, and my first impression of this, kind of just completely honest. We got done with the movie, and Devanir asked me about it, and I said, this is probably my favorite superhero movie since phase 1 or phase 2 of Marvel. And she's like, really? I was like, yeah, it really knows what it's trying to be, and it doesn't try to be anything else. It tells an isolated story that leaves you wanting more, which is a good thing. And it understands its humor, it understands its pacing. I don't know who did the screenplay for this. That was something that really impressed me. Is I have some Hispanic friends that I've gotten to spend a lot of time with their family, and then I have Hispanic relatives. Both my sister and my brother married into Hispanic families, And specifically, it's funny when you listen to Hispanic people interact like with each other. Like I don't know. I feel like they did a good job. Like that's not my family, but seeing how my friends interact with like one of my best friends, the way that he interacts with his mom, like very much reminded me of that, and like the way that he interacts with his grandma and things like that. It was it seemed true. I just felt like it was just always trying to be true to itself. It was never trying to be anything else. And for that reason, it's one of my favorite superhero movies in a long time.
Yeah, genuine and authentic. I think that's a really good point about like being kind of self-contained, because this is like the last like non Sean or James Gunn DC project, I'm pretty sure, aside from the Aquaman. But like people are campaigning real hard to keep him like in James Gunn's new DC universe, and I think it did a good job of like make you want more, like you said, so that like you want to see this character again. You can kind of like, advocate for that, while also being its own self-contained story that won't necessarily connect to what James Gunn has planned for DC.
Yeah. Let's go on to spoiler time. So, we tried to be pretty, no spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, like I said, great reviews. Go check it out. It really is just a great popcorn flick. Let's go over our overall impressions, though, and I'll let you go first again, Patty. Like, what are your just over? I mean, you've seen it twice now. Like, what is on a high level? Why did you love it?
Yeah. So I think it had a great villain. I think Susan Sarandon does a fantastic job of just being just the biggest rotten person of all time, and it's a lot of it is about self-preservation, right? How the suit is doing everything it can to like protect him, but in the end, like they reach that full symbiosis, and it's that like coming together. I also love what you said about how like authentic it is to like those family dynamics. We'll get into like some of our favorite characters in a bit, but yeah, it was really true to that, and it was just a great movie. There's not much like it was a great show.
Yeah, for me, like there wasn't like a. I only have like two could be betters. I'm like I think one of them is my fault, but I think that what was really nice about this is like from start to finish, it felt like the pacing was really good, and then also just kind of I don't know if this makes sense, but like everybody understood their role in the film really well. Like nobody's character overwhelmed at any point in the film. Like everybody had their role, and like sometimes like you have people stealing the show, and like that's a good thing, but nobody stole the show, and it was a better thing because it made you love like every character. Like if anybody stole the show, it was the grandma, but like I don't know, it everybody just got the right amount of screen time. The pacing was good. It was funny. It was charming. It was thoughtful. Like it really impressed me just how kind of I don't know true it felt.
Yeah, it's genuine. You can feel that energy when something is genuine to itself.
I also got to teach my wife that Mexico is not called Mexico. But she didn't know that that's not the name of Mexico.
What? Sorry? What?
Mexico is not the official name of Mexico.
Oh.
It's United Mexican States.
Oh. Cool.
And it was funny because, like, I thought that the United Mexican States still had, like, roots in other countries. I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Is it United Mexican States or is it? Yeah, United Mexican States. Yep. But like, just kind of like being a revolutionary. Like, I didn't really know what that meant, so like, I got to do some googling for kind of like, what that meant for
what Nana meant
for Nana. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, cool.
but
Yeah, that's something I was looking into too. It's great.
all right, let's go over favorite characters. I'll go. I can go
Yeah.
first. I think my favorite character in this film was probably I'm gonna say her name wrong. Milagro. Milagro, the sister.
Oh yeah. Played by Belissa, who was in Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, yeah. I thought she was pretty fantastic. All of her jokes hit pretty well. Like I said, she understood her role really well, and I really felt like there was like a really good brother sister relationship with her and Jaime. Like it actually was really endearing. So she was like definitely one of my favorite characters, if not just my favorite character in the film that wasn't Jaime. So,
Mm-hmm.
what about you?
Yeah, that's a really good choice. Yeah, the natural uh, response is Sholo as Jaime, but I don't know. I really, I guess that can be my favorite storyline. I loved Rudy. I know, like, it's George Lopez being George Lopez, but like, it really works in this film. Like having that like conspiracy theory uncle, like we all have one, and it was that was great to see. He was so fun.
Do you have like a bit that you like the best from him?
Um, I think so. There's a couple of bits when he rolls up to the airport with Lechona playing, and that's just such an iconic piece of music right now. Um, so like that set the tone for like who this guy is. But also I think when Jaime first brings Jenny Cord over after like saving her life, and he's like they messed up his truck, and he's having that like freak out moment. He like throws his boot at the um, at Jaime and knocks over all the spices. Like um, that was one of my like favorite moments of like, oh, this character.
I really liked that he like kickstarted his thing, and then he kickstarted the Beetle as well. Like it was
Yeah,
like it's kind of like in comedy where they like tell their joke again. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
yeah,
Um,
he's got a lot of those moments.
what was your favorite storyline?
Um, I think this movie did a really good job of the like um like the Ben Parker, like with the dad storyline, and how it propelled Jaime to reach his full potential. I think it was really smartly done with their financial situation, and then um Jaime's trying to chooses the revenge path and gets not that and while his dad is there, they're trying to escape the court folk, has another heart attack, um, and so like that's set up really well, and it does a really good job telling that story.
Nice. Yeah, I think for me it was Jenny's like it felt really weird at the start. I was like, why is this like young girl? I didn't quite understand Jenny's role in the company or like things like that. And then they really did a really good job of fleshing it out like
Mm-hmm.
throughout the film, and it really made me care about like the family dynamic and like even to the point where at the end of the film when like things are happening with with her aunt, and like I mean, you just start to get like the drama and like the feeling. I thought it was really well done as like kind of the secondary story to the film, and I think they did a good job with that. Do you have any could be betters for this film?
Um, not really. Like I kind of wish that and it's a thing with villains, but Carapax, um the villain, I kind of like wanted to see a little bit more from him, which it was kind of hard to with Victoria Cord and him as like the villains. Like just kind of to see like just a little bit into like how he became what he became. They talked about it a little bit, like all the sacrifices he made, like with his body, for his family.
Even like the flashback? The flashback wasn't enough?
I must have missed the flashback.
Really?
Yeah, I must have missed that.
It's like the pivotal part of the movie, Patty B. He's like about to kill him, and Karsak shows him his past.
Yeah.
Not enough?
Before that, yeah.
You wanted it before that. Okay.
That feels like you're right. It feels like kind of a footnote.
All right. Fair enough. I'm not going to yum your yuck, just like you're not going to yum my yuck, which is, why did we cast Susan Sarandon as a Mexican aunt? Yeah. Come on. I get it. She's a great villain, but like... It's
like married into the family, right? Or like maybe...
Is that what
Ted,
it is?
It's like... Or no, but like Ted Cord may have had... her mom might have been Hispanic.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It just seemed off. So that's my personality better. I guess I don't know that Victoria Cord is supposed to be Hispanic. My second could be better. Might be just a me thing. But I looked it up, and Bruna is only 4 years older than Xolo, but she like looks 10 years older than Xolo. And it's like it's 22 and 20. I guess it's actually 6 years older. It's 22 and 28. But like it feels like more than that. Like while you're watching the film. And so it's like the romance dynamic is like, it's a little awkward. Like it
just because Xolo looks a lot younger than she does.
Yeah, and the thing is it's like, I don't know, like that's not that big of an age difference. They're both adults. Yeah. It's kind of whatever, but it felt awkward for a minute. I don't know. And also it's because I'm used to playing a high school kid too, so maybe that also like put it in my brain. Like I said, like that's a me thing, but
yeah, I could see that where we see him as all this time as a
17-year-old.
Yeah.
Patty B, tell me, what are your love-its?
I loved all the bits with Nana after shit hits the fan, and like we see into her revolutionary past, and she's like helps drive the other characters. She has some really good bits in the final act of the movie.
Yeah, Nana's a huge one for me. I'll popcorn next. I really loved the moment where they use the disruption thing and they like flip the car around and hit what is his name?
Carapax? Yeah.
Carfax? Get your Carfax?
Show me the Carfax.
Carapax. Like when he like is like pull the handbrake and just like flips that thing out. I really love that moment.
Yeah. That's another Rudy thing where he can't get over where he thinks the scarab went up his butt.
Yeah, that's perfect.
and with the whole freak out of like, it does a really good job of like this thing attaching to you and everyone just losing it. That scene was great.
Yeah. Also, I really loved the CGI in this movie. Like when like
it's clean.
It burns off his clothes and stuff. Like I don't know, it just looked good.
Yeah, it was really clean, really well done.
Any other loads from you?
I'm trying to think of like specific moments. I really liked his mom too. Yeah. Like I think she kind of goes under the radar. And also in that final act, I think she had some really great character moments with help progressing the other characters.
I must be like 8 years old because I really loved the bug fart as like the stealth like thing. I just thought it was.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, you know, like stealth mode, and then it was like bug fart. I was like, that's not what I was expecting.
Oh
So
yeah,
that was really funny.
It had this like nice blend of like, because Ted Cord, all this stuff is like Ted Cord tech from, I guess, like the 80s 90s, so it had like that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, like Batman, like punch arrows, like that type of like.
Yeah, it's like silly Batman.
Yeah.
The bubblegum thing, like when she's taken down to like protect as they're falling out of the helicopter, like the tech is like this like nice blend of silly for Ted.
I think that's kind of what I mean though. Like when I said it early in the show, right? Like it knew what it was trying to be and it like executed on it. And I don't know. I really loved that about this film.
Yeah, I also love that Jaime and Jenny can't get kissy without Uncle Rudy interrupting them.
Should we rate it?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So on a scale of 0 to 5 being 0, just never ever watch this film, to 5 being that you wouldn't change a thing about it, where would you rate this, Paddy B?
I'm going to give it a 5. I wouldn't really change a thing about it. It did its job. I really hope that we see more of it in the future, and it's just great, just good fun time.
I think that I have to give this a 5 for what it is and what it's trying to be. I wouldn't change a thing. Do I think it's like the best movie I've ever seen or whatever? No, but like it is exactly what it needed to be and what it's trying to be, and you got to respect a film for doing that. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so they can find me on X at PaddyBMTG. You can find us on TikTok at Heezy Game. And yeah.
Find me on Twitter at you can find me on Twitter at Heezy Game. You can find the show at Need to Nerd Pod, and you can find me every week on CCMTG, as well as every month on Smash Through. This month on Smash Through, Matt and I picked each other's mains in Smash Bros. For us to play for a month that were not our typical mains. And we're going to battle each other in a video here on the YouTube channel and then talk about what we learned. So really fun, always improving thing for Smash there. If you're into Smash Bros., check that out, as well as constructive criticism. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out whatever Paddy's going to be saying on this on our TikTok at Heezy Game. And we'll see you all next time with another episode of the Need to Nerd podcast.